Hola, hola a todos los que se están conectando, muy buenas noches, bienvenidos otra vez a su segmento favorito, Está bien en inglés, conmigo Diana, así es que, bueno, bienvenidos y estoy súper emocionada de presentar la banda de esta noche, se llaman The Intuitions. Estamos esperando ahorita otro ratito a que se conecten. Es una banda súper chida, con un estilo así como soul. Los estoy tocando aquí de fondo. ¡Ay, ya veo que se conectaron! Hola, hola Lidia. Déjenme los voy a traer. Ok, ya los estamos conectando aquí. Hi!
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you guys?
Good.
Awesome. I see that more than one member of the band is there, so that's great. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I was just getting done introducing you guys. So this is The Intuitions, everyone. And I'm playing your music in the background. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. So yeah, if you guys want to introduce yourselves individually.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kendall.
Last name.
Oh yeah, Kendall Queer. So I'm a bit shy.
And then I'm Adam Valenzuela, and I'm the songwriter. I play rhythm guitar and rhythm section. And
I'm Mario Gutierrez. I play bass and I help with some production.
he also was the one that coined the name.
He's also the one that what? Sorry.
Coined the name.
Coined the name. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's so glad to have y'all here. I've been listening to your music for like the last week and I love it. And of course, I've been doing my research about you and I love everything that I've read. So I'm really excited to get to interview you guys tonight. So I was reading up that you guys just formed like in October, just got together in October in the middle of this pandemic. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about your origin story. How did it all come together? Yeah.
So me and Mario have known each other for a while, for years. We kind of were going to like a community college studying like music, and that's where we ran into each other. So we've kind of just been connected through that. And I had wrote some soul tunes in July, so I had started writing kind of like an album, and I had an idea of wanting to start like a soul group. And from the beginning, when I had the idea of writing an album, I'd let him know, and he just told me whenever you're ready, like I'll play whatever. He plays a lot of instruments, so he's like, I'll hop on whatever you need to. So then around like September, I started looking for people to join the group. So I hit him up, and I have my other friend play drums, and he ended up Mario filled up on bass, and we got our organ player Kyle to come in the first week of October. The second week we met Kendall, and then she came in, and then it just everything just fell into place. And then in November we found our guitar player.
Wow. Okay. So tell us about getting together in the middle of this pandemic. Has that been tricky at all or weird in any way?
We during the pandemic we were mostly like talking about the music over live and webcam and stuff, and just over the phone and sharing the ideas. Luckily, we all have the same program where we could just send each other the tracks. And once the space was available, and like here at our studio here, where we have more than enough space and airspace to rehearse together as a band, we were able to do that. And at the studio, they recorded the singles at Joe's studio where they had enough space, and everything was possible for them to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. So have you guys done any like live streaming shows so far or anything, or has it just been putting out music?
No, we haven't done any live stream. We did do like an audition for like the sessions, like lives, like it's like the online like streaming thing. But we're really geared towards just putting like recording. So we're working on an album. We're in the process of trying to figure out how to move forward with that. Is if we're gonna do independently, or we have a couple of people that might want to like bring us in and help like work on it with us. So we're just kind of make the decision. But our main focus right now is we wanted to play shows. But the thing is, we just want to play
Yeah.
live music, have that whole experience with people, and connect with everybody. So we can't really do that right now. So our whole focus is In the meantime, we get as tight as we can. We just get prepared for like, the stage, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. So tell us about the name, the Intuitions. You said that earlier you coined it. Tell us about how that came about.
It was a name that was sitting in the back of my head for a long time. Just about trusting, like something that a lot of us have been doubting, and personally in my life, where I kind of always guess like someone's how they're gonna act with me or how they're gonna treat me, and I second doubt it, and then I take the punishment for it, and it's like, oh, sometimes you just gotta trust that
Oh, your
intuition of like
yeah.
something's gonna, it's
Yeah.
pretty much the word, and then it hasn't been, it's hard to find a name nowadays since we live in this modern era, so it was there, the word was there, the name's not, no one's using it. Let's go.
I like it. I like it. So you guys have released, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I didn't find anything. I found 3 songs that you guys have released. Of course, like you guys are super new, so so and just last week, February 19th, you guys released a new single, right? Pastel. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you wrote it.
Yeah, but I just find it.
Oh, so
My experience with Pastel, that's the first song that I saw you sing, and I kind of was like, oh, dang, like, this is a really nice sound. I don't know, there's something about it. And I think he followed me on Instagram or something, and from there, he posted the next day or something happened, Amy Winehouse, and I always sing Amy Winehouse, like if I'm driving, if I'm like sad or something, like I'll just always be singing something just to kind of like keep my focus on something else. I like to just focus on singing or painting or whatever it is that day. So I just replied, I'm like, oh, I love that song, like always sing that one. And he's like, oh, we should jam sometime. And that's the song that I first heard. Was it Pastel, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had when I had the band, I had somebody a week before that had tried like out for singing, so I had them try out for vocals, and then I was thinking of kind of putting them on. We hadn't made the decision yet on what to do, but we were gonna have like a vocal rehearsal, and she canceled and said it was like kind of just too strong of a commitment for her. So when she hit me up and replied, I didn't want to tell her that like I had this opportunity in the band, and like it to do that. So I wanted to make sure that the person and like was their voice was good, and then that they could have the commitment and all that. So but once I gave her the song, I played and gave her the lyrics, and she started singing. It was just like it was like over. Okay, you gotta sing the song. Originally, I was gonna sing them. I was gonna sing the tunes, and then I made the mistake of letting her sing them. And it was just like, well, I'm not singing those anymore.
Well, it sounds amazing. So I think you guys made the right choice. I mean, I haven't heard you sing.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's just
But definitely really great. We have a question down here in the comments. How important was it for you to get your music on vinyl?
I think it was important in the sense that personally for me as a songwriter of the two tunes, it's something tangible, and especially with the pandemic and like we live in such a world that everything's digital and floating like between us and above us, but it's not really tangible. And if you think about it, like if everything like records are still in thrift shops and stuff, that stuff's going to be around, so it's kind of just solidifying the music, in an actual physical way. And it's also we did everything analog, like on tape reel. So it's also just I think a lot of stuff is kind of lost when it comes to what music is and how you make it and what it's supposed to be, and a lot of it's just lost in like where the money is, and that way. So it's important. It was important to us. That, but I don't know.
yeah, definitely. We're trying to portray an image of connectivity between us and make the best product that we can without having to deal with someone's expectations or what they want to hear or what they want us to make, and hopefully we can keep doing that for a while, but we don't mind doing the other stuff too and making music for whoever wants to pay us to make music for them.
I like it. So going back to talking about your music, your songs, I read that you describe Fool's Gold and Pastel both as tunes that explore the desperation of the heart when caught in the throes of love, which I definitely, before even reading that, I definitely felt that just listening to your music. So tell us more about how would you describe your music to somebody that's never heard it maybe?
Um, I guess it's like reminiscence of like soul and like that kind of era, like 50s, 60s, 70s, like that classic era. But it has something that has more of like a not aggressive, but like an angst to it or something. There's something more There's like momentum to it. It's like propelling forward. So there's just something there as far as the sound goes. As far as the lyrics, I just take from my own experiences. So the lyrics are just what Pastel is just like experiences from me just being a friend with somebody and getting in a relationship and not it not meaning to be and me not the two people not being right for each other, but it being a product of environment. So you just end up together, but it's a friend, but you end up doing more and you made the mistake and like what's the price that you pay for it, Because and you weren't those it's like those two individuals. It happens all the time. It's like people aren't supposed to end up together, but it's an environment thing. So that's what that is. And with Fool's Gold, it was a concept that came to me as I was sleeping. That was it was a line that was love is the fool's gold mine from the heart. So I just had this idea that like we're fools that like our gold is love, and we're just like continuously like chopping away at it. And it's just like it's a currency that we'll never get enough of. We're just always chasing.
I like it. Love it. Thank you for that. So, tell us about your musical influences. I'm actually, I'm, I'm Mexican, but I was raised in the U.S. So, I have like background in like, Spanish music and also English music, and I could hear a lot of both. But of course, maybe that's just me projecting. So, like, I'm curious about you guys' actual like influences with your music.
So I definitely have a lot of influences, thankfully, in my life from my grandparents and my parents loving music and being Mexican like you and dancing. And they don't discriminate on music. They listen to, funk to Mexican music to, rock en español, de todo. We like listening to everything. And for me, what always stuck to me out of everything they played, because there's a lot of songs that your parents overplay and you don't want to play anymore. So it's just like the thing that stuck with me the most is the musicality and like the lyrics of it, and it could be from any genre for me. Like they all speak to me in a different way, and they're all different feelings. Like some I could play when I'm cleaning, some I could play when I'm trying to drive. So that's where I take my influences from, like just whatever feels good. I don't really discriminate with any genre.
Yeah. Are there any like past artists or anything that you guys want to mention that you guys draw influence from? I know y'all mentioned Amy Winehouse earlier, so.
Yeah, for me, I feel like she was always the friend that I never had. I was bullied a lot in high school, and a lot of the times, if I was just alone at home, like I didn't get invited to whatever, I would just be at home painting and listening to Amy Winehouse, or I have a really wide kind of range for my musical influences. I love like Deftones, Tool, that kind of genre too, but then also I grew up on oldies and soul music. But Amy Winehouse was definitely someone who was a huge influence, as long as like Lana Del Rey, which some people aren't like huge fan, but I always like I kind of thought they were very similar. That's me.
And then I guess I could speak a little bit on the other members that aren't here. Kent Sullivan, he's the drummer. He is heavily influenced by funk, and he plays other instruments as well. And he's real like big on oldies, James Jamerson from like Motown. He really draws like a lot of his inspiration from like real like session artists from back in the day, not just the famous people that really know artists behind music. And Kyle Davis, who everybody calls Reverend. Um, he is just very much a blues musician at heart. His grandfather was an actual like recorded and like published blues artist from like the 40s, I believe, or the 50s, and so his influence, and if you hear on the organ and all this stuff, and when he's playing keys, it's very like he has that blues just down like soul, like pain, deep within him. Um, and then Johnny, the lead guitar player, he's like the youngest of the group. His name's actually Johnny Rico. It's funny. It's like a great name, and it's funny. It sounds like it's a joke. His name's Johnny Rico, and he's like 19, 20. He's young and fresh out of like high school, and he can just play it. He can play anything. And he listens a lot of like indie stuff. It seems like he plays everything. So that's just a little bit of.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can definitely hear like a wide range of influences in the music, like just listening to it. So it's great to hear it from y'all. I wanted to ask y'all, I was looking up your Instagram and stuff, and I saw that you guys are partnering up with My Grito, is it My Grito record label, to do a charity compilation to benefit Esperanza Immigrant Rights Project in LA. It was really cool to see that because I always love to see when artists are doing like, activism or anything. So tell us about that. How did you guys, because I was reading up on it, and I know I saw that like the tags for that on Bandcamp were like alternative punk, Chicano, garage. Those were like the tags for it. So tell us how you got into that. I thought it was really interesting.
I'll say a little bit, and then I'll let Mara speak on the topic itself. But honestly, they hit us up. It was kind of random. I didn't expect it. And they hit us up too overnight, and they said they just asked if they could use it, and we're like, of course. And at that time, we were just about to release 45, 2 days or 3 days before they were going to do theirs. So I told them, oh, we are releasing these 2 songs. These are actually our big songs. We just put overnight out to give the fans something to listen to while we put out this. These are our real like bread and butter in that sense. And I sent them the digital copies and just said whichever ones you guys like to use, it'd be great. And they ended up using pastel. But they just hit us up, and it's something that we're passionate about. Mario can speak a little more on it, personal experience wise.
Yeah, being an immigrant myself and coming to this country and having to deal with those struggles and try to put that in my music and portray it to my friends and, speak about our problems and all the obstacles we have to go through. And it's always good, to donate to a cause and help a cause. And that's what we're always going to be about. All of us individually in our own ways, and as a band, hopefully we could keep doing that for people.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I'm an immigrant myself, and I've actually done a lot of immigrant justice activism myself. So I really love to see that on y'all. So I hope that helps helps your music get out there more to people as well. Whoever buys the compilation. Let's see. I think we have another question down here. Okay. So there's a question. Pastel is such a great tune. Who plays the sax on it? I think you might have mentioned it earlier.
Is Pastel has flute. I don't think it has sax. So Fool's Gold has sax. The sax was done by Eric Johnson from the Sinceres, and then he did the alto sax. The bari sax was done by Miss Pieces, and then Eric Johnson also did the flute for Pastel. So at the end, he did two flute parts.
Gotcha. Awesome. We have another question down here. What do you guys think about the new Chicano movement that's going on in California, like when it comes to music, and do you see your band as a part of it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of movements going on, and our band, it doesn't only have Chicano members. We have like a lot of different members in our band, so we could only do it, the Chicano members can only do as much as they can, and the other members have their own identity also. So we all put in a little bit. It's like a nice, LA mixing pot of everyone, and we all influence each other, and we all try to not, we talk our smack to each other and everything, and we just try to do the best we can and make good music for everyone, Chicano, white, or black descent, anything, you know. That's what we're gonna try to be, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great what's happening. I think just in general that I think the communities themselves, black or brown, putting the control and power into their own hands by having independent labels and having the control of who's putting out the artists and the music. It's like that big whole movement with all the East LA artists and labels that are coming out, and it's great to see that some of the control and the actual power and the money is going to be there for the communities because the tax revenues and cycle back instead of just going off. So aside from it just the music side, there's also that.
Gotcha. I was looking at your artwork, so I noticed that Kendall, you do the artwork, or you are an artist yourself. Tell us about
Yeah. Art is the main thing that I did as a kid. I feel like whenever I was just bored or sad or just at home, like anything I was doing, I was always painting or singing, playing guitar, different instruments, anything to kind of keep my mind off of other things. Really kind of as an outlet for emotions, everything. And just music and art is everything to me. So with that particular piece, I felt like when you listen to this song, I kind of picture myself, if I pictured the music video, I'd picture like a speakeasy kind of neon with vintage, I chose to do more of a vintage record player, just to kind of have that vintage vibe. I was really inspired by the neon lights with that one too. I just wanted to have that feel with in the song Pastel, we talked about, I think we ended up changing the.
Oh yeah, it's just like timeless lyrics about smoking cigars and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of places it in that era, people. We could have said a cigarette or like a blunt,
whatever it is,
but it would have made it very to a particular group. But cigars is like a very classic Scotch and cigars and kind of like James Bondish.
Yeah. With that one, I wanted to capture what I kind of envisioned in my head when I sing the songs or when I first heard the songs. It's kind of like the visuals that I got in my head, and I just wanted to put that on a canvas and yeah.
Awesome. It's beautiful. And yeah, I actually, I was, like I said, looking you guys up and everything. And I saw your Instagram page and I saw that you do a lot more with art. Do you do you do any artwork for commission or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually finally finished all the commissions that I had. And the painting I'm working on right now is kind of inspired by just everything going on in my life right now. I just moved, and we moved together and everything, and just kind of the experience with the band, the music, and everything. I'm kind of putting all of that. And now that I have all this time to create, because of the pandemic going on, I have more time. I'm not working as much. So now is the time I'm really taking to focus on my art. He did end up seeing my old art. I kind of went through a phase only painting in reds or pinks because I was going through a dark time and I wanted it kind of moody to symbolize what I was feeling in that time. And now there's so many more vibrant colors and I'm actually happy and excited to paint and create. So now I'm just putting a lot more colors in there and a lot of inspiration from neon streetlights and just kind of in the paintings. I just want as much color as possible with the paintings going forward. But I'm just experimenting with all of that. And I'm excited to kind of be able to sing the song and then whatever I'm feeling or whatever he wants, since he writes the lyrics usually, or for all the songs pretty much, I want to be able to capture what he wants or what I'm thinking for the song since we're a part of it too, since there's that essence of it, since usually you'd have to pay an artist who has nothing to do with the music, but being a part of the music, I feel like there's something more to it that I can express that someone might not be able to.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's awesome. Yeah, usually, there's an outside artist that does the the artwork, but I think it's great because you are part of the music as well, so you are able to put that feeling in the artwork.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your creative process? How do you guys go about writing the songs? Who does the lyrics? Yeah, tell us about how that works for y'all.
We're having some technical difficulties. We need to plug the phone in really quick. Just 1 second.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'll just talk about it real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
We usually all bring different ideas to the table. Like, for the first songs right now, all the songs that have been released have been Adam's ideas, and then we just instrumentate them through his ideas and what he wants, us to do in a way, and then we bring our offers. But we have other tunes that haven't been released that we all have brought different parts of production and ideas to the table. And lyrics that you wrote lyrics for songs that other songs, and it's just like a good, mix of different ideas from each member.
Okay, and then I'll take off. So my idea was when I wrote most of these tunes that, like the starting tunes that we have, probably like 10 tunes last July. I just like locked myself up in the studio that I had at the time and just wrote like a whole album. And my idea was, I understood that I was going to have a band. I wanted to look for artists, so I would write these demos, and around the 5th demo, I stopped writing the full instrumentation because basically what I do is I'll bring a tune, or like Kyle or somebody can bring a tune to the band, and then have like chords or something, and we'll let the band kind of do their thing. So our creative process is mainly the tunes is just like the lyrics and the melody and the chords, and then the band kind of puts their own who they are into everything. So then it causes that collective sound that you kind of hear. If it was just me playing it, it would just sound like me. But, I don't tell everybody what to play. I'm just like, well, this is kind of the idea and feel that we're going for. And that's what we're kind of the master.
Gotcha. All right. Did you guys get it? Did you guys get your phone fixed?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw a little movement. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask if you guys could open up a show for anyone, any artist, who would it be?
Currently, if we could open up for any artists, so unfortunately, a lot of artists are passing away right now during this pandemic. Rest in peace, everyone who's gone last year. But wow, for our genre right now, there was a specific artist. It'd be really hard for me to choose right now because we only have a couple songs released, so we gotta release maybe a little bit more to see kind of who's gonna like us and who's not, and what we're gonna go with more, But I couldn't really say myself right now who I would want to open up with this.
What about Dead or Alive? What if we open it up to that in an ideal imaginary world?
Wow, it's just I'm such a fan. Like for me, I'm like such an indecisive person. I'm such a fan of so many people, so where I don't really idolize anyone more than anyone else. Like it would just have to be like a whole set list. I would tell you, it's just too much. But I don't know if you guys want to say something.
I think that like with the music that we're doing, there's definitely this whole soul scene that there's like a kind of a niche. There's like Daptone, Coal Mine, Big Crown. There's all these like soul labels, and like it's like it's not like what you get on the radio and all those things and that, So there's like that whole mix of artists and that movement that's going on, and at the same time, I feel like there's the sound that we have kind of it can branch out a little, like to appeal to a wider audience than just what that is. So I wouldn't want to like. It'd be hard to say too because as we put out more music, the opportunities. The band, it could be a different band that you might not expect our sound to be under, because I feel like we have a sound that's larger than just, that tone kind of oldie soul sound. We're kind of a little versatile.
Gotcha.
I mean, I said anything.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
If it were based on like what I've been listening to lately, I would say Bobby Rose.
Okay.
But if it was Dead or Alive, I would say
Yeah, those are great. I'm sorry. I was like, wait, I thought it had cut out. Yeah, those are great artists. Um, there's a question down here. To Kendall, do you have an Instagram page where we can see your art?
Oh yeah. Right now it's titled Blood Red Bloom. I might actually change the name because that was more. The title was the style. I was only gonna paint in red. I decided for some reason that I was only ever gonna paint like reds and pinks and that kind of color. But now I'm branching out to more as what I was talking about earlier. So I'm probably gonna change it. But right now it's Blood Red Bloom. And then my regular page is That Vegan Girl. But I think there's like 3 U's. Girl. The other one wasn't available.
Well, we'll tag us in our bio.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to tag our.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, people are curious now. People want to know. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what about collaborating? Are there any artists that you would like to collaborate with, like your dream world?
Wow. Well, for this group, I guess in a dream sense, you know, it would be nice to, you know, collaborate with a lot of the old, you know, soul musicians and musicians of, you know, different engineers and that we could, you know, tap into. But I don't know, those questions are really hard for me because it's just like too many to count and I would lose track. But, you know, I don't know about you guys.
Probably like this is gonna sound different, I guess, but Kurt Cobain maybe? Kurt Cobain or like Lana Del Rey?
Alive.
Oh, Alive? Oh, yeah. There we go again.
I mainly just want to like, if I was to do it with artists, be like ghostwriting things. I'd write the tunes and somebody else maybe would use them or something. But I think we're headstrong enough with what we're doing as a group that we're just kind of pushing forward. That I don't think that we even thought that.
Yeah. And we're always open to collaborating with, you know, different people, anyone who's creative and wants to, you know, make some nice tunes. But yeah, I don't think we don't really idolize a lot of people in that sort of sense. We do, but like we just like, you know, we wouldn't try to like reach out super hard for someone or like get like an old legend to come along. Like maybe because I've heard a lot of stories of old legends reaching out to people to work with them. So maybe I think that's what we're really trying to go for is like be so us that they're gonna come to us and be like, who are you, man? Like, what's up? You know? Like trying to get on that level, you know? Like, because if sometimes people really try to sound like don't worry about sounding like this person or that, and they get lost in it, I think. And we're just trying to sound like, I guess, like everything, almost like life, you know? Mm-hmm. Timeless in a way, you know?
Yeah, well, that's a good goal to have. That's I like that. Okay, so to start wrapping us up, I want to do a quick little game. Well, it's not a game. It's a rapid fire question segment. So I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds, and I'm just gonna ask you random questions, and any of you can shout out like the answer. So this is just for fun. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me get my timer on. Okay. And it can be anyone. Like, just as soon as I hear an answer, I'll go on to the next question, okay? All right. Okay, describe what music is to you in one word.
Love.
Okay, sunrise or sunset?
Huh? Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunset? Okay. What is the most useless talent that any of you have?
What was it?
Useless or useful?
Useless.
I could talk like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
What is it?
I could talk like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, that's great. We'll have to hear that later. Okay. What song do you usually sing in the shower?
Just say something like that. I don't know why, but whatever fucking what's love has to do? What's love got to do? It just got stuck in my head. When you said that, that's what came in my head. What's
That's a
love?
good one. Okay, time's
Alright,
up.
next question, rapid fire.
Okay, you guys did good. We got through 4 questions. That's good. That was just 30 seconds. All right, so that was just to end it with a little bit of fun. Do you guys want to share all of the platforms that you guys are on? We're definitely going to tag your Instagram on here. But share with us, like, if you have like a web page. I know your guys are on Bandcamp. If you have a Facebook, a YouTube channel, any of that.
Yeah, YouTube. We're on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, all that stuff. YouTube, Instagram.
Have it under.
Yeah, it's just all under the Intuitions.
Okay. All right. So folks that are listening, I'm going to tag their Instagram for sure. Go on there. And you guys have like a link tree, right, on your Instagram to your things? Or am I remembering wrong? I could be remembering wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a link in our for Bandcamp.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So you guys can go and check that out. And the last question to close this out, if you could, if you could share a message with people that listen to your music, like what is that message like that you want people to get out of the music that you make?
Yeah, just love it.
Yeah,
Just love it. Like love is just like the answer, I guess. It sounds cheesy, but that's pretty much it.
yeah, get along, everybody. Let's get over this shit. Let's get this shit on the road.
I like
live again. Like, like let's get it together,
Yeah, I like it. And I feel like more than one of you, I could have heard wrong, but when I asked you to describe music in one word, I think more than one of you said love. So I like it. You guys are on the same page. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight and for sharing a little bit more about your musical project with us. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed like learning about you guys and listening to your music. It's great. Thank you for giving us this gift during this pandemic, because I think it's what's helping most of us get through this worldwide disaster that's happening.
Aw,
Thank you. Appreciate all the kind words.
Thanks everybody who was liking and everything. That was really cool to see all the hearts going off. Different questions. Thank you guys.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.